A long life is a great way to gain perspective, but it's really what you do with those years, where you go in those years, that counts. And my next guest has been there and done that on planet Earth and the edges of outer space as well. Who better than William Shatner to share a little wisdom after a week when there seems to be so little hope on where we are today as a people and how on earth we got here. William Shatner, it's good to see you. It's been a year since you and I last spoke. How are you?
And you asked me to come on the show, and I thought that'd be great. I'd be able to mention some of the sponsors of my horse show, a charity horse show that's on this week. And then I see you got me saying, what's good and bad with this country? And I know nothing. I tell you, one of the great things you learn as you get older is you know nothing. And
it's interesting.
It's a hard message to deliver. I wish I felt that I knew something that, I heard Susie Orman say, buy these stocks, buy these bonds, and some people say, well, don't buy those bonds because they change. Nobody knows. They have an opinion. And what possibly could bridge what I don't know and what you want me to say is that nobody really knows anything, how to do anything. And that goes for every fraught appeal and current in this country and my home country of Canada. I'm still a Canadian, so I'm always conscious that I'm a guest here. Nobody knows, and the only way to figure out how to do something is to discourse on it, discuss it, vote on it, and then do what the majority wants. Because if you can convince more people than not what to do, then your opinion will prevail. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, well, we've got to try something else. The Greeks did it from whence democracy came, and they were successful at making those citizens debate and then vote. And that's what we should do, whether it's gun control, what to do about all that. I am no wiser than anybody else. It just seems to me what we're doing now is not working. Maybe we should try something a little different. And don't think that somebody who has a different opinion is hateful. They've just got a difference of opinion. And that goes for both sides of a controversy. Nobody's trying to kill anybody. We're all trying to figure out the best way to live and to retain the greatness of this country. And
I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you're Canadian, Bill, because I am too. But I'm no longer a guest. I became a citizen, about 10, maybe 10 more, maybe 12 years ago. And so I feel like I have such a stake here. And I look back on my 34-year career and think, boy, I know a lot. And then I think about you. And I think Bill knows more than I do. He's seen a lot more. He was here when there was a different mood, when people were more civil to one another. And I think he can impart wisdom on me, and I think he could certainly impart some wisdom on the next generation as well.
I wish I could, and I have no guarantee. I have no knowledge that what I have to say means anything. Just that sitting in a classroom in Canada, watching this wonderful country go through its throes of communism, of Nixon, the various things that were so there was such upheaval in those moments. And then the greatness of the American people, they're really solid. Their opinion is wise in most cases, or eventually becomes wise. And all those end of the world events evolved and things straightened out. And then there was another event, and that straightened out. So a democracy works that way, doesn't it? People get crazed in them. This is that and what. But calm down. What would you like to do? Let's ask the people to vote. And that's what's happening.
For so many people who watch this network, NewsNation, are very centrist, right? They don't ascribe to the polarizing politics of this country. They're really just common sense. And, you know, the statistics show that especially this week when we're dealing with what happened in Uvalde, those who are fighting loudest are not necessarily representative of what the rest of the country feels like. The majority of gun owners, I'm one, I think you are as well, we're for sensible, you know, sensible regulation, just like driving, right?
What is the sense? How can the sensible, logical evolvement of trying to make schools safe and people safe, how can we, certainly what's happening now, the laws as they are now are not working. How do we effect a little change and demonstrate, well, that's not going to take your gun away? I mean, a background check, what is that? There are minimal things that can be done that don't challenge your ability to have a gun. I've got guns. I take shots in ranges all the time. I love to do it. It's great fun. But
I grew up with a gun rack. I think many of us in Canada, we grew up with long guns. The population of long gun ownership in Canada, I think, may even exceed that in America, the long guns. But, you know, the interesting thing is that there's this anger, right? And I wonder, it wasn't always here. It certainly wasn't here 27 years ago when I arrived, and I think it wasn't here when you arrived. Do you, at 91, first of all, I can't believe you're 91 when I look at you. You look like you're 60. Do you have hope? Do you have hope?
What? Do I have hope?
I said, do you have hope? Yeah.
Well, I have hope that this event will evolve and be solved. The hope that we need to have, I mean, the major crisis is global warming. And everything stops in that place there. But let me give you another thing that occurred to me while thinking about what you and I were going to talk about. I had a choice to do one of two things. A friend of mine died, and I had committed to doing a fundraising for the Red Cross. So I chose the fundraising rather than go to my friend's funeral. Because, as I said to them during the speech, because some of them had come to see me and they were raising money, that the legacy that we all leave is good deeds. And if you can make something a little better, whether it's for your family or a dog or for mankind or just do something that helps somebody else, it salves a lot of emotion. Not that this is a great and grand thing, but I wanted to mention it. Some of my sponsors on today and this week's horse show are doing a good deed. Priceline.com, Bank of California, GLD Partners, Jordan Winery. These are people who are giving money to children who need it. Every penny in this horseshow.org is the app. But if anybody does something good for somebody else, it salves a lot of anger. If you just help.
So there's the hope. Yeah, there's the hope I was looking for. I knew you'd have a pearl of wisdom. And I'm calling you after the show about the Red Cross. I'm a board member, so you and I are going to do some more business. William Shatner, thank you. It's good to see you again. I look forward to our next talk.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to mention those names. Thank you, Ashleigh. I look forward to the next.
Love having you.
Thank you.
Cheers, my friend, fellow Canadian, and I'm a big fan. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.